sa third. Dili maka-try sa third. Hello. Hello. Low. Hintayin ba natin matapos siya? Hey. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. We're back. Ano, magsalita ka.
Meron ba akong mic?
Oh, meron. Malinaw. Malinis. Good evening. Uy, gaga ni Rocky, oh. Hi, Janet. Oh. Kamukha mo yan si ano, no? Che Guevara. Oo nga, no? Yung suit mo, baka si Che Guevara pala, pare. Di ba? Tama ba ako? Nakikita nyo ba yung sa chat? Yung si James Balmaceda. Magandang umaga from Dallas, Texas. You look like a Che Guevara. Paano ba yung ginagawa mo na? Lagay nga natin na. Show. Oh. You know? Oh, yan. Anong wala? Wala akong audio sa'yo? Wala daw siyang naririnig. So, we can hear him but he cannot hear us. So, tayo muna magkumustahan. Pasensya na sa nangyari last Saturday dahil itong kinsa naman po yung lalaki naman yung nagkagusto sa'yo mo ba? Si Narciso naman, ba? Tisoy ko no kay ko? Tisoy gud aning taning oy. Oh, sabi ni Narciso.
Sige, tuloy ka lang muna.
Ha?
Continue, wala.
Yeah, but I can hear you. Maybe it's in your settings in the microphone because wala. Settings mo lang yan. Settings. In your mic. Teka. Usapin nga natin to sa private chat. Saan ba private chat? Use your mic settings. Okay. Oh, ayan. Use your mic settings. Oh, anyway. So, yeah, I can hear him too, no? Tama. Si Narciso, sabi ni Narciso, we can hear you both. Paano ko ba ito tanggalin? Pare ko, paano ko ba ito tanggalin? Okay. Anyway. So, we missed you last Sunday night because last Saturday, if nahabol niyo pa kami ng mga bandang alas, anong oras na ba tayo nakapag-start nun? Last Saturday. Was that
mga 11:30?
Ayun, yung
mga
oras na. No?
Mga 11:30.
Yeah.
Ayan, makarinig na ako.
Hindi ka nabingi.
Hindi na.
Okay. Himala. Talakpakan. Mabuhay ang kilusan. Anyway. Sige.
Viva la revolution!
Okay, mag-greet ka muna. Sino yung mga mo dyan? Yung mga girls mo dyan na gusto ni
Janet, si Marla, si Rocky, si Marlita, si Marian, si LA, si RG, si Narciso.
Bago to si Joe Villager.
Si Dalia Basilio, si LV, si Mildred, si Priscilla, si Nelida, hello, si Frampton Hendricks, good evening po, DG Bank, Janet, si Joe Villager, si James.
Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, may mga nanonood sa ating mga seniors na ayaw doon nila mag-chat kasi baka daw mabash. Hindi. Lagi pa lang sumusunod sa atin yung mga tita ni Jenny, sila Mama Mama
Ganun
Aning,
ba?
sila.
Hello po.
Super pala sa atin. Nakakaya. Sabay sinabihan ako, magpagupit ka
Nakakaya,
naman.
tapos kung ano-ano sinasabi natin, mga, oh my
Pati si
goodness.
Mamo, may mga pa-porn
Oh,
na
si
porn
Mamo,
na porn.
nanonood din si Mamo?
Nanonood pala yun sa atin paggabi pa.
Ay, pasensya na po kayo sa mga pinagsasabi namin. Mabuti naman po yung, kung ang papakinggan nyo lang po yung content.
Oo.
Pero yung mga function na functional sentences, medyo magulo.
Rocky, meron kasing kwento to eh. Alam mo, yung aking anak, nakita niyo yung anak ko na maganda, di ba? Masyado siyang natatakot na magkaroon ako ng chicks, chicks. Kaya kailangan daw, ito, never na ito pinapaputulan kasi kailangan daw. Walang chicks.
Hindi niya, pero galit ba siya kung meron kang, boylet?
Ay, hindi niya alam yun. Shh, atin.
Hindi niya alam na ako yung boylet mo ever since the world began? Kasi si Tita Jenny nga, alam niya na ako yung boylet mo eh.
Hindi.
Si sinabi diyan kaya.
Si Royce ang magpuprotesta dyan. Kami yung bedmate talaga kami. Bedmate.
Sa bagay, ano kayo bedfellows.
Ano bang tawag sa? Mga babaylan ba tayo pare kayo? Babaylan?
Babaylan.
Babaylan.
No, babaylan are, they are priestesses.
Oo nga, nabasa ko kasi yung mga lalaking babaylan ay may karelasyong lalaki.
Correct.
Oo,
kamustahin natin si Mira, si Malign, si Jaleng, si Mary Lane, si Marianne, si Blue Mac, Bem, Maria Teresa, Maria Ligaya. Hello, Maria Ligaya. Si Chel Bautista, and that's about it. Si Annie, Supot, Bernardo, Priscilla, and Serena Labor. All right, go ahead, sir. Cel Reyes, hello. Okay.
So, bakit ba tayo mag-usap tungkol sa mga fact-checkers? No? Kasi, bigla itong out of the blue, di ba? Last week, ano ba yung topic natin? We were talking about... No, pinag-usapan natin last week.
Ganun pa rin naman.
No, it was about...
si Maria Reza.
Were we talking about her? Really?
Oo.
Ano pinag-usapan natin last week? Okay, we were talking about ito mga disinformation, yung ating...
disinformation. I remember yung political philosophy.
Political maturity. Oo, kasi importante sa atin maintindihan, no? Why don't we progress? Nasabi na natin na we are functional English-speaking monkeys or alam mo yun, parrots. No? I hope I'm not making you feel that you are unjustly being persecuted. No? Kasi baka ito yung sinasabi nilang dystopia. Dystopia. Narinig mo ba yan sa
What does it mean? Dystopia.
Okay, I made a post dito kanina. Parang obviously nobody knows about it. Nobody can understand it. Even me, I had to look up that thing in the dictionary kasi ang dystopia daw, ang title kasi nung pinost ko kanina was a thick document, no? Na pinroduce, pero ang title was Information Dystopia and Philippine Democracy. May kinalaman sa ating topic, di ba? Democracy and Information Dystopia. So ibig sabihin, alam nito mga to that the use of media has an effect on our democratic relationships and our democratic understanding, our democratic growth as a country.
Yeah.
So they're not unaware of their democratic role. Tama?
Okay. Yan ba ay may kinalaman sa word na utopia?
Kaya nga, sabi ko nga kung, what the meaning of dystopia, sabi, doon, sinabi ko yun sa post ko kanina. Ano yung sinabi ko? Kasi hindi ko rin na-memorize, no? Ang alam ko lang talaga translation niya.
Meron kasi tayong mga viewers na nasa YouTube lang, they don't go to Facebook. So they won't see our Facebook posts.
Okay. So ang naaalala ko, what comes to mind when I look at its definition is delusions of persecution. Okay? So dystopia pertains to an imagined world languishing in wretched, dehumanized, and fearful citizenry under a
Mhm.
despotic and authoritarian ruler.
Oh, okay, okay.
So kumbaga, it is a picture that's only imagined by the people who are affected by it, that they are nahihirapan sila dahil pinipersecute sila ng kanilang pamumuno. And
Well, yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay. And supposedly this whole article, this not it's not an article. It's like a plan. It's like a blueprint
Parang
made
essay
in.
ba siya o
No,
ano?
no, no. This is a document,
Parang
policy paper.
policy proposal.
Yes, 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 policy paper. That dun sa ending is asking for funding, alam mo yun, with actions, and this was made by inter internews, if I'm not mistaken, yung no? But before we go on to the source, but the title is that, no, that meron daw mga players sa media ngayon, or sa yun sa inyo kayo mga listeners namin, meron daw mga players sa mundo ngayon na, nakakatakot kasi nagke-create ng dystopia.
Alright.
Di ba sila yun?
Okay, ibigyan natin sila ng example ng dystopia. Yung
Oh.
yung kung nakapanood kayo nung
EJK.
Waterworld. Waterworld.
That's real.
Dystopia 'yon.
But that's real.
Dystopian.
Yeah, that movie depicted a real situation. This one is an
Well, yes,
imagined
but
world.
from our point of view, it is an imagined world imagined by the producers, the directors,
Oh,
the
okay.
writers.
Yes, yes.
But
Parang you
you
believe.
can,
Oh.
yes.
Yeah, go ahead. You
So,
believe that they're
Mad
there.
Max Under the Thunderdome
Mm.
na series na sequel, dystopian din 'yon, dystopian movie. Yung dystopia, yung kay Will Smith na merong mga zombies. Ano nga ba 'yun na
Zombies. I
yung
Legend?
parang
I Legend?
parang
Legend.
yung aso, pati yung aso niya ay naging
Mm.
yun dystopian din yun. It's
I Am
after
Legend.
yung I Am Legend. Dystopian yun, yung parang yun nga, it's after parang post-apocalyptic dystopian.
Correct.
Ang
Correct.
ang
So, ang pagkakaintindi
ngayon alam
ko,
na
no?
natin kung ano ibig sabihin ng dystopian.
Yes. But imagine that people believe that they're living in that kind of world in the real world now. Okay?
Which is no different from that. Kasi kung tayo yung mga tao doon sa loob ng movie, we really believe that we are being oppressed.
Yeah, but imagine if you are right here, right, with us now, nandiyan ka nanonood, but you believe that outside is a world of persecution by your government. Right. You are being terrorized by your president who is despotic dictator. Okay? So, teka, ako napaisip ako, di ba kayo yung gumagawa ng ganong picture? Di ba?
Yeah.
They're making a dystopia about our society here in the Philippines. Okay, now, so our title tonight is we reveal, or alam mo yun, we peel away the masks of our fact checkers, because why is fact checking going to be important to our friends here? Sila Rocky, sila hindi naman sila fina-fact check, di ba? Bakit ba siya importante sa inyo? Ever since sila Ahmed, they are victims of this tuloy-tuloy, no? And right now we are being throttled, no?
Matagal na.
Matagal
na kaming biktima ng ganyan.
Kaya nga, you have been vocal about this, and then now we are having a new administration, and we are in the process of going out of a very bad pandemic situation. The world is about to crumble in the real sense, at hindi to dystopia. This is a real threat that we are facing. Parang importante na ma-unmask natin yung strategy tsaka yung anong intention, di ba? What is it for? Is it just simply for being truthful? Alam mo yun, for moral purposes, no? For educational, for what? Di ba? Social, or is it for political reasons, no? And to be able to do this, we must take their word for it. Tama?
Take whose word?
Itong mga fact-checker.
Okay. Yeah.
Di ba? Importante yun.
We will assume. Di ba? We will assume that we are part of that world that they are imagining.
No, let's listen to them. What is their problem? Oo, di ba?
So let's put ourselves in their shoes.
Yes, so pagbigyan natin silang pakinggan natin kasi alam mo, ito yung ginagamit nilang mga narrative na binibenta nila sa mga funders. Alam mo yun? Dito natin makikita kung ano yung kinakaharap natin kasi hindi lang pala siya laro-laro. They are organized and they're being funded. No?
Okay, so this thing that you're saying is a fact.
Yes,
you have a source for this.
I am actually going to share their own document.
Oh, interesting.
Di ba? Not ours, theirs.
All right,
okay,
let's see.
Paano ba ito ibalik ngayon? Kasi i-remove ko o full screen layout. Bakit na yung full screen? Wala tayo. Dito tayo. Dito tayo. Diyan tayo. Okay.
Nasaan na yun? Okay.
Balik natin. Okay. Okay, so nasa na ba yan? Anong page yan? Okay, slide 16. Okay, bakit siya naging slide 16?
Oh, ang dami, slide 16.
Okay. So ito, sabi nyo, si Rappler yung sumulat niyan, ha?
Oh, bumalik ka sa slide 1?
Hindi, nilagay ko lang para malaman kung sino yung ating source, no?
Right,
so, ang tawag nila sa document dito is Patient Zero, a study on the Philippine information ecosystem. Yung sinasabi ko sa yung dystopia was a 2020 document. This one is much later. And I would like to start with this one. Kasi kumbaga, yun will give us a background for this one. No? And ang chats ay i-ano ko muna kasi naka full screen ako dahil hindi ko rin mababasa. No? Alright, so in this document that they prepared last February 2022, very recent. This one I got from a site which actually is their supporter in their activities, no? Okay, so mahaba to, but I will just breeze through kasi okay.
So is this a public document? This is a public document?
They are publishing it over the internet and there is no restriction to it. Okay. Right. It's like an informational thing. Okay. So, nagsisimula yung kanilang analysis that on May 5, the ABS-CBN daw, the leading broadcast, sabi dito, they were asking for a franchise. Okay. This resulted in a loss of jobs for thousands of media workers employed by the network. It reduced Filipino access to information in many remote areas and made ABS-CBN refocus distribution on its digital resources. Okay, so here is a Rappler beginning its argument with ABS-CBN. Okay, sabi niya, punta tayo dito sa overall findings. Alright? Ito na yung problema. Already addicted to social media mga Filipinos. We have become
Sila nag-diagnose sa atin ito.
Yeah, these are the findings of the study specific to the Philippine context.
Sino ang gumawa ng study?
Kasi lang si Rappler nga.
So sila din yung nag-diagnose na addict na tayo sa Facebook.
Okay?
Alright.
So, sige, dito muna tayo. To illustrate the dynamics of the digital information sa baba, ecosystem and how this information is seeded within its environment, Rappler explored cascades around the following themes: the war on drugs, attack on the press, and messaging around martial law and authoritarian rule. The themes were selected based on prevailing issues that have confronted the Philippines and the Duterte administration over the past 6 years. So imagine this is published in February, okay, before the elections. Okay, already addicted to social media, Filipinos become deeply immersed in the internet due to the pandemic. Okay, this is partly true. Now we are deeply immersed, right? In the use of our phones kasi nagkaroon tayo ng period of lockdown na wala naman tayo ibang source of entertainment and communication and getting to know the world. But we got to become more and more reliant on relationships with social media, and a lot of people are able to build uh, new kumbaga, source of entertainment aside from the traditional TV before. Tama. And sabi nila, at least 1 in every 3 Filipino internet users is new to digital, is potentially unfamiliar with how it works, and vulnerable to disinformation and online manipulation techniques. Okay, so nandiyan na yun, no? Sige, pagbigyan natin. Maybe true. Pero yung addiction, okay, yung addiction, I don't think si Rocky Wambago will say this, no? But pakialam nyo kung gusto namin gumamit ng social media. Anong gusto mo? Ma-addict kami sa TV. Di ba? It's just another media. Sinasabi nga ni Makluhan, di ba?
Mano kung ma-addict kami sa drugs?
Pakialam nyo rin, di ba? So, di ba? So, this first part, wag na natin yung pansinin, no? It's just expletives.
Mayong gabi, Joet, Margarita, Sheila, Priscilla, Sheila na naman, at saka si Sising.
Okay. Sabi nila, news organizations are still among the most followed information sources online, but they're increasingly drowned in social media. Okay? So they have made analysis on this one, and they have lamentations in the latter pages to say na nawawalan kami ng followers dyan sa social media. Nawawalan kami ng audience. Okay.
Bakit daw?
We will get to that. We will get to that. Okay, so sabi niya, trustworthiness is the primary consideration in following groups, pages, and channels on social media. But entertainment value and agreeableness are also major considerations, making audiences vulnerable to sources that deceptively use celebrity content to build online following. Sino na kaya may celebrity content? Wala naman tayo niyan.
Sino kaya yung may artista-artista?
Not us, but them. No? Maybe that is their advantage. They're one of their findings. No? Because findings nila to they're not stating a problem yet. No? So majority, 78% of survey respondents say they can distinguish between real news and fake news. But focus group discussions revealed that some believed previously debunked claims. So, ang tanong dito, paniniwalaan ba nila yung kanilang audience? Kasi sabi ng audience, like itong audience natin, I don't think this audience can be easily fooled.
Yes.
Di ba? Di ba? So,
I don't think that either.
No, they make this finding here. They're highlighting it because they see this as a threat rather than an advantage.
Something
or
good.
Isipin mo, if you can say that 78% of the respondents believe that they are able to spot fake news, then that's good, right? Ibig sabihin, konti na lang yung kailangan nating hindi, tsaka perception to Ako hindi ko kaya yung malaman yan. Di ba? Parang ganon. Or ako kaya ko malaman yan.
Okay, pero may tanong ako. Kasi ikaw yung marunong mag-analyze ng data. Kasi meron kang background dyan sa research as a method of research sa economics. Ang presentation niya dito ng findings, okay? Majority, 78, blah, 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 is able to distinguish between real news and fake news. But focus group discussion revealed that some believe previously debunked claims.
Like this, like what? Like what?
Is that a complete sentence? Is that a complete
what debunked claims? What debunked claims are they talking about?
What are the claims
there is
that are
this. Respondents in FGD conducted as part of this research were able to cite specific claims that Rappler researchers described in the section on information cascades that had already been debunked by independent fact checkers. Fact checkers. This includes the claims around martial law, ABS-CBN's alleged violations. Wala daw kasing violation yung ABS-CBN. Kaya may problema yung 78% na sinasabi nila na nakakaintindi sila ng, ng facts and truth, pero naniniwala sila na merong violation ng ABS-CBN. May problema yung mga tao.
Yung 78% na may problema because they think that ABS-CBN has a problem, has violations.
Because the 78% understands na mayroong problema si ABS-CBN or mayroong violations, then sila may problema. Okay? On content about the drug war, dahil naniniwala sila sa drug war, then ang 78% na may problema.
Right.
They do not know what the fact is. Okay?
Right.
Most respondents indicated they were aware of claims about aware the claims were dubious or untrue. Some, however, appeared to believe the claims they saw. The political belief of respondents, as indicated in their views with respect to the three issues covered by this study, appeared to be a factor in their susceptibility to believing particular claims. So, kayo, yung mga kasama natin dyan una, naiintindihan nyo na little by little what is really the nature of martial law, or di kaya you believed us when we were disclosing yung mga tago-tago ng ABS-CBN ng mga information, or di kaya you believe the government that the drug war is necessity, then we all have a problem daw.
Hindi ako basta naniniwala na anak ni Pen Medina si JP. Ako rin, hindi rin ako maniniwala dahil kilala ko tatay nito eh.
So there are similarities between disinformation in the Philippines and the firehouse falsehood Russian propaganda model. And for this,
Teka muna, bago muna. Kasama ba tayong dalawa sa 78% na yan?
You will know later kung sino kasama dito, or sino yung mga...
Kasi hindi naman tayo hindi paano ba tayo sinurvey daw dyan? Sinasabi nila,
No, 78% of the respondents. Okay, meron silang mga respondents sa Leyte, merong syempre funded yun. So, hindi.
So you and I, strictly speaking, are not respondents. We were not asked about this.
So, in fact, this is sabihin na natin, let's give it to them, that the survey is legitimate, impartial.
Okay.
Kaya lumabas to sa nila, na instead of being happy about it, they're sad. Okay? And then ito yung Pilipinas daw tsaka yung Russian propaganda, hindi lang yan model. They claim here in the middle that meron talagang agreement si Duterte at tsaka yung Russia when he went there for a state visit, and si Mocha Uson and si Martin Andanar yung nakipag-agree with the Russian counterparts to run the Russian propaganda model here. The fire hose of falsehood.
Grabe yung intent na yan
Yeah. It's there.
Malupit. Wow, that's awesome. I like it.
Persistently seeded meta-narratives against the mainstream media. Maybe this is referring to me. Persistently seeded meta-narratives against mainstream media cause audience to follow hyper-partisan social media influencers who are perceived as alternative information sources.
Right. So, ibig sabihin niya ay, from the very beginning, there was a plan to employ this thing na sinasabi nilang hyper whatever media influencers na itong structure ng Russian whatever they call it, social media whatever, was the blueprint of what was implemented here by Duterte. Yan ang sinasabi niya.
And this is very recent. This is February 2022. Okay? So media groups are typically attacked for hiding the truth and for not reporting on supposed accomplishments of the current administration as well as of the Marcos regime.
Mhm.
Nag-report ba
Okay.
talaga kayo ng maayos?
Hindi sabihin natin
Okay.
nag-report sila. Sabihin
Hindi
natin.
nga. Di ba? Ito daw yung criticism sa kanila. At dahil dyan, yun. Because, kaya daw yan na re-reinforce because of the persistent seeding of meta-narratives against mainstream media. Okay. Government and
Seeding, ha?
seeding, propagation, propaganda, di ba? Seeding, di ba?
Pagtatanim.
Di ba
Pagtatanim.
sabi natin, ang definition ng propaganda in the 1870s, nagkaroon lang siya ng transition from the church definition when it was used in agriculture for the propagation of plants.
At saka ni
Seeding yun.
Vladimir Ilyich Lenin.
Kaya doon na yun sa ano na yun, sa utak na yun. Pero yung propagation of plants, seeding, yan, propaganda. The government and politicians are among the gainers in the digital space. In some cases, they have edged out mainstream news organizations and media as the trusted sources of information. Now, is
How?
this supposed to be a problem? No, is this supposed to be a problem?
Okay. One, is that supposed to be a problem?
Di ba?
Mhm.
Is it a
But
problem?
to rappler it is.
Okay. Tanungin mo natin yung ating mga listeners dyan at saka yung mga nanonood, no? When you start believing in your government, is that a problem for society?
Exactly. When you start believing your government and you, meaning the majority of the electorate, are believing the government, there is a problem because you should be believing the media.
Yun yung sinasabi nila. But, di ba, sa discussion natin, yun yung sinasabi natin na about the maturity of our democracy. Di ba?
Ibang klase. Kinakabahan na ako nito.
Habang kasi lumalalim yung ating experience with our democracy, nagkakaroon tayo ng confidence in our system, ay nagkakaroon tayo ng belief sa ating gobyerno, and is that not what we want? Okay.
Right. So,
Through
ang
incoherent
initial
policy.
question ko lang naman muna dito is, so there is an expectation, at least in the mind of Rappler, that the people should be believing media instead of government.
They should be addicted to them instead of
Government.
Or instead of relying on themselves for information.
Or how about the Singaporeans who believe their government? There is something wrong with them too.
Singaporeans lang yan, they're not even di ba? Sasabihin nila.
Sorry.
They're not even di ba? Hindi, iba din yung narrative nila doon. Because if you will go back further, itong mga documents na nanggagaling sa mga grupo na to, when you go back to the time of Pinoy and Gloria, iba din yung kanilang narrative. But they're always against government, okay? Now, okay, this is the problem. Here, look. This is their data.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is the problem now. The yellow line is the rise or the growth of audience likes on government sites. And the green line is their likes in mainstream media sites. That jump is a threat.
That is the effect of the Russian whatever.
Oh yes, the Russian,
Yan yung sinasabi.
the Russian Molotov cocktail. So when people start believing, this is their data ha, hindi ako ang gumawa niyan. So ito dapat malaman to ni Trixie, no, na nagkakaroon pala ng rise in belief in government sites, government information, and to these people, it is a problem.
It's inherently wrong.
Yeah, we will not go there. So because of that, okay, yun yung mga yun yung situation. So ang sabi daw nila, ang kailangan gawin ay to support and amplify public interest in journalism and credible news sources. Sabi nila ha.
So, walang sinabi dyan na for example, study law or philosophy, wala. Ang
sinasabi nila dito, that platforms, civil society, and the academe should promote credible news sources. Okay?
Right.
And sila yun. It is important to support efforts around media and information literacy, fact-checking. Okay? So, yun yung sinasabi natin dito na, why are they so strong in this
So
fact-checking?
basically, thus far hanggang dyan lang,
Mm.
si Rappler ay nag-survey at ang nakahanap ng resulta
Sila
na
na-process.
nagsasabi there is a problem with this society, and the solution is to beef up the participation of somebody like it, or someone or something like Rappler, and that the people should start believing it, something like Rappler,
Oh.
and that will solve the problem.
They say it very more, let's use their words.
Subtly.
Okay.
Subtly.
Sabi nila dito, ha? A significant part of effort should go into helping the public understand. Kayo po, mga listener, kailangan daw tulungan kayo. The role
Natin sila.
independent journalists and newsrooms play in a healthy information ecosystem, as well as the watchdog role they play in vibrant democracies.
Wow! So,
How
ganda.
profound can it be? Yung pinaghirapan mong
explain, research.
It is so profoundly said here that they have watchdog role.
Like itself. Like Rappler.
No, this is them speaking, This is them speaking out their mind. This is critical. This is critical to rebuilding trust. Critical, okay?
It is critical of popular development of their own consciousness
Vibrant.
And trust in their own government.
Yes, para maging vibrant ang democracy.
Vibrant ang democracy.
Okay. So kailangan yung public daw ay tulungan makaintindi na yung journalists and newsrooms they play a role in a healthy information ecosystem.
So itong ginagawa natin is to them not helping the people understand.
Maghintay ka lang. Let me go there. Okay. Support also needs to go into exploring further action, including available legal options in relation to protecting journalists against online attacks. Okay? Huwag daw nating atakin. Hindi tayo nang atake ng Ako, hindi ako nang atake.
Ano ang ibig sabihin ng online attacks?
Ay, meron kasi namang iba.
Define it?
Hindi. Ako, I will not, hindi ako magmaangmangan. Nakikita ko dyan, sasabihin nung ibang ikaw, magnanakaw ka sa Green Hills, mga ganun. Alam mo yun, to me, argumentum ad hominem. Tama naman.
Right. That is correct.
Tama naman.
But isn't that prevalent in both camps?
It is. Pero dapat tayo kasi medyo, alam mo yun, huwag natin bumaba.
Kasi tayo yung 78%.
Oo, we are the more sane people, di ba? Support should go to...
There is a presumption. Ay, sorry.
Ito importante. Ito pinaka-importante. Support should go to funding.
Oy!
Funding. Pera. Yan, pera.
Funding.
Investigations. Funding investigations and in-depth reporting. So, yung pag-report nila, kailangan pondohan.
Oy!
Around gut issues that will serve to illustrate to audience the value of an independent
press in a democracy.
Yan.
Pero ang idea nila ng press dito sa sinasabi nila dito sa statement na to, sila. Hindi totoo yung sinasabi natin that when everyone and when every person is able to publish or self-publish, then they are also press.
Yes. Hindi nga yung prosumer, yung producer and consumer of information. Hindi. Wala yun sa kanila. Kailangan kasi dito,
sila talaga.
And newsroom. Newsroom, organized media.
So, ang presumption nito na ito lang mga taong ito ang may alam sa paano how to handle the truth.
Hindi. Kailangan tulungan yung ating mga listener. Oo nga.
Kaya nga, kasi
yung mga taong Rocky Wambo.
Dahil yung mga tumutulong sa kanila na sinasabi nga tumutulong sa kanilang iintindi itong independence and democracy, kagaya nung Ahmed at saka nung JP, ay hindi ito sila marunong. Mali itong sinasabi nila.
Mali.
Hindi dapat ito paniwalaan. Because they do not know anything about democracy and independent press.
No, not necessarily that, but because we are not them.
Kaya nga, I would like to think that just because we are not like them.
No, they don't care whether we know what we're talking about or not.
So, if for example, tayong dalawa, mag-apply tayong maging journalist because we are geniuses. You finished cum laude, I also finished cum laude. O hindi mag-aral tayo na 6 months ng journalism. O, makasama na kaya tayo dyan? Sa funding na yan na sinasabi.
Hindi, kasi hindi ka naman, doon ka sa rappler pumasok. Hindi naman to sa lahat eh.
Hindi, akala ko ba, so ang rappler lang pala ngayon ang journalist?
Wait. Yun yung pinali natin kasi may kagrupo sila dito, hindi lang naman sila.
Ay, sorry.
Sila lang yung nangunguna, sila lang yung nagsulat nito, okay?
Okay, sige.
Kasi yun yung i-reveal natin mamaya sa bandang dulo, okay?
Larga.
Ito yung mahalaga kasi now we can see, we can review. Because this was their plan for the 2022 elections. Promote election integrity, enforce transparency and accountability. For the 2022 elections, we reiterate this list of recommendations for the Commission on Election or COMELEC and election watchdog groups. Okay. Sabi nila dito, in general, sabi nila na yung kampanya daw na dumadaan sa social media, sa traditional media ay binibilang, kaya daw dapat, yun yung number 1 dapat tingnan din daw yung regulation sa social media, which I believe is a valid argument. Fair. That's true. That's good. Good, Rappler. Good. I like that.
Good job.
COMELEC, good. COMELEC should release candidate disclosed list of pages associated with the candidates themselves. Content in influence pages outside this official list should be monitored and traced in the same manner as traditional media. Good. I like this. I like that. No?
Of course.
Ikaw, di ba, si Rocky matutuwa dyan at saka si mga, di ba? Campaign on social media are, as established, are not limited to traditional ad placements. Therefore, transparency should be limited to transparency in relation to data advertising placements. Platforms need to be compelled to disclose more while respecting data privacy. Wala naman data privacy na issue dyan sa election, di ba? They're running.
Tanong ko muna, saglit, papagulo muna. Ito ba ay applicable kay Lenny Robredo?
Hindi ko alam.
Nag-disclose
na si Lenny? Nag-disclose ba siya? Anyway.
Kahit na ano akong pakialam kung nag-disclose siya, pero dapat applicable ba daw to kay Lenny Robredo o hindi?
Nabanggit si Lenny dito sa bandang dulo. No? Pero nabanggit din dito si Duterte. So, it is important for data pertaining to comments in pages and community hubs with significant online reach to be visible for study and investigation. Dito na ako. Yung tinatawag nilang astro-turfing and the firehouse of falsehood. Okay, wait. Astro-turfing and firehouse of falsehood propaganda. Ito na yung number 3. Number 4. Kailangan daw yan.
Parang ngayon ko lang narinig to, sir.
Astro-turfing?
Kasi nag-aral ako ng philosophy, nag-aral din ako ng 4 years ng philosophy, nag-aral din ako ng propaganda ng 4 years din.
Yung firehouse of falsehood? Ako, nagkukunwari lang ako dito na alam ko kung ano yan, ha?
Parang first time ko lang itong narinig. It's from Rappler. And parang hindi ko alam anong meaning nito.
Ako hindi ko alam kung ano yung
astro-turfing ng 4 years.
Ayun. So, ang sinasabi niya dito na kailangan daw, nagmamadali ka mamaya, no? So, pertaining to comments in pages and community hubs with significant online reach to be visible for study and investigation. Do you know what this is?
Maganda.
Hindi yan maganda.
Di ba?
That is Cambridge Analytics. Yan yung social media analytics na until now questionable yung ethics and morality niyan. Yung may crawler ka or mayroon ka rider sa loob ng system,
Hindi
Na-analyze
ka
mo yung mga
nagbabasa.
ano?
Hindi ka nagbabasa. Kasama nga yan sa mga sa classification ng mga santo. Ito yung sila ang mga hindi makagawa ng masamang bagay. Kasama dyan yung Cambridge thingy.
Well, sabi nila, yun din yung ginamit ni Duterte para manalo, no?
Oo,
Pero
pareho pa ng
kaya nga gusto nila ng access daw doon. Pero hindi naman yun napatuloy. Okay, anyway, this one, ang sinasabi niya dito is dapat maimbestigahan or maging, kumbaga parang magkaroon ng real-time recording of comments and stuff, ganyan na pwede siyang ma-investigate. Okay, ganito when the cybercrime law was discussed by the Supreme Court, there were some aspects there that were discussed as unconstitutional, yung mga real-time gathering, mga ganon. I think that touches there, okay? And I think this was one was also gunned down by the Constitution, by the Supreme Court.
In other words, certain methodologies that a rappler is proposing is actually against the law.
Okay. I do not know if they're in one-to-one correspondence as those provisions in the original cybercrime law which were declared as unconstitutional. Yung online, you can be of better position to assess. Kasi 'di ba meron yung mga tinanggal? Konti lang yan hindi naman yung buong cybercrime law
Ilan lang.
Ilan. So yung mga iilan at saka ano yung points, bakit siya naging unconstitutional? If I remember it right, this falls into that category, no? Na bawal yang gawin ng government. Parang ganun.
Bawal gawin ng government. Yung mga bagay na yon. Alright. Bawal. So, kanina, bawal ang mga tao maniwala sa government. Tapos ngayon naman ay bawal gawin ng government itong mga sinasabi niya.
Pinopropose nila. So, here it becomes important to consider the dual nature of social media platforms. Ano kaya itong duality na ito? No? They are not merely infrastructure for private communications. Public pages, community hubs, and even social media influencer accounts which have significant reach should be considered public broadcasting mechanisms. Di dapat pala, irespeto nyo rin kami na kagaya sa inyo.
Hindi nga tayo kapareho nila. Ano ka ba?
Hindi, kasi subject to standards of disclosure required of mainstream media.
Hindi tayo kasama sa class nila, sir.
Sabi niya, kung meron tayong reach.
Hindi, wag mong isipin na pwede kang gumawa niyan. Hindi. Magsabi ka, mag-discuss ka lang dyan.
Pero pwede lang tayong i-regulate like them but not i-treat like
pwede
them.
Pwede tayo i-fact check.
Given that the COMELEC and most watchdog groups do not have the capacity to monitor these new public spaces, support must be given to a new breed of watchdogs.
Anong basis itong statement na to, sir?
Monitor these spaces.
Anong basis niyan? Paano nila sabi na wala capacity ang mga, dahil hindi nila tayo kaparehas?
No. Sir, ang sinasabi niya, COMELEC hindi kayang gawin ng ang bantay ng eleksyon.
Or any other watchdog groups. Wala daw alam paano gawin ito.
Like si PPCRB. What do you say? Kasi she's talking about the elections here, So NAMPREL, PPCRB, KBP,
yung CBCP social media social communication sa
yung laging kasama ng COMELEC sa elections as watchdogs, given that they do not have the capacity to monitor, support must be given to a new breed of watchdogs.
Which are not the PPCRB. Hindi ito PPCRB.
New breed New breed. Sila yun.
Sila na to.
Sila na yan. Okay, break muna tayo dyan. Sige, puntahan muna natin dyan. I-stop muna natin yung share, no? Kasi,
pa naman
paano ba ako umalis dito, pre? Palisin mo nga ako dito. Tanggalin mo muna. Gusto ko makita yung mga comment. Hindi, gusto ko makita mo na yung mga comment.
Pindutin mo yung dyan sa baba, remove. Yan.
Na-high blood ako, na-high blood.
Okay.
Hindi, meron pa to. Relax lang kayo. Mag-share screen ako na isa. Sige, basta ikaw. Kausapin mo muna yung ating mga audience kasi
Babati
naano
muna
ako.
ako, babati ako si
Magbati muna tayo,
CBL.
pati muna tayo. Advertisement muna tayo.
Anna Marie. Oh, si Maria Teresa Malazarte Smith. Oh, si Maligaya. Oh, si Junior Kapendit. Oh, si musikerong Fanday. Oh, Maria Teresa. Naulit na yan. Si Myra. Oh, si Serena. Oh. Nag-share na ba kayo dyan? Kasi 344 na yung nag-react.
Share.
Pero ilan na kaya nag-share nito?
Share.
Opo.
Oh. Sabi ni Musikero Panday, nasikmura mong magbasa ni si Rappler. Ganyan kasi talaga yung buhay. Kung gusto mong, sabi ni Sun Tzu, di ba? Sun Tzu ba yung sabi? Sun Tzu. The art of war. Know yourself. Know your enemy. He who does not know himself and does not know his enemy will surely lose the war.
Ang Tagalog.
Ang hindi marunong
ang taong mahilig sa puwet, ang siyang makikinabang.
Dapat sa'yo.
Seryoso tayo.
Mag-like ka kayo, mag-share.
Si Hal Flores.
Okay.
Pati natin, Marian.
Meron akong dito isa. Jump ko lang kasi mahaba yan 100 plus pages yan. So, iano ko lang muna yung
tumalon ka muna.
Dito muna tayo. So,
ayan.
ginawan ko ng konting nag-cut and paste na lang ako dun na parte, no? Yung summary.
Synopsis.
Of what they see is the problem. What is the problem?
Hello, Rose. Hello, Lady Sal, and Sophia and Janine. All right. Continue.
Okay. The problem, teka lang, magbubukas lang ako dito kasi nawawala Yan, ha? So, the problem has two sides, no? So, what fact checkers think are the problem? So, tanong mo to kanina, no? What is wrong? Ito, galing to sa kanila. Sabi niya, the political belief of respondents, ito yung sa research nila, as indicated in their views with respect to the three issues covered by the study appear to be a factor in their susceptibility into believing or nawala sa akin. Hindi sa akin nawawala.
Wala sa'yo.
Into believing particular claims. One specific narrative cited by second FGD responded from Leyte. Nationwide to pare. Clearly believed the claim as was widely circulated claim that Jabida massacre didn't really happen. So, we only got the information from TV, sabi ng respondent, no?
Right.
Paano ba ito? Palakin ko nga. Ba yan? Dito. Zoom. Fit. Okay. Yan, alright. Masyado maliit.
Lumala.
Let's make it 75.
Lumala.
Yun. Kumasa. Ayun. So, sabi, the respondent said, he cited established entities who attested that it was indeed cooked up to create a scenario that would justify the revolution in Mindanao. He added, this issue has a huge impact on me because I'm still not sure if this whole issue of the Jabida massacre is indeed a cooked up issue.
But for Rappler,
problema to.
It really did exist. It existed, and its existence is really according to the story that is being peddled by Rappler. Then,
and this person, their respondent, is a problem. Okay, so in this survey, this specific focus group discussion, respondent indicated that he strongly agreed with the questions on whether he fact checks. To us, yung respondent, kung nagpa-fact check ba siya. Sabi ng respondent, oo. Can you distinguish between facts and opinions? Sabi ng respondent, oo. Can distinguish between real and fake news? Sabi ng respondent, oo. He also says he only follows trustworthy and credible sources on social media. Problema yun. This focus group discussion respondent indicated in the survey that he does not believe that press freedom is under threat in the Philippines. Uy, problema to pare. Kasi under threat nga daw sila. Ang
so
sabi
kung
ng
hindi
tao,
siya naniwala dyan,
problema nga.
so there is a problem with this respondent.
No, there's a problem with our society because why does this respondent not see?
What?
Huh? Why doesn't this respondent not see the problem?
What the?
Oh, don't. Bawal yan
Okay,
sa
okay.
kanila dito.
Sorry,
He
sorry, sorry,
said,
sorry, sorry.
okay, he said he supports the drug war. This person really has a huge problem, but does not think martial law is good for the country. Okay, to. Yeah, does not think martial law is good for the country. Who thinks that martial law is good for the country? It is only good for the country when the country needs it. Tama?
Wasn't it good for the country when the
It was
Marawi
used.
siege happened?
Kaya nga, di ba? The
Okay.
use of martial law is in the Constitution precisely for specific
Because it's
conditions to be
good.
addressed because that is a
Yes.
solution to certain kinds of problem. So itong question na to, do you think martial law is good for the country? That's a bullshit question na hindi mo dapat tinatanong kung ikaw ay taga-media and you know what democracy
Eh, di,
means.
teka muna, sir. Kinikriticize mo na yung rappler eh.
Ay, hindi
Huwag kang
pala. Sorry.
ganyan.
Sorry. Responding, responding to the question of whether he has encountered content online that contradicted his views, he said he has. Oh, huh? He said he makes sure he verifies first with various sources. O, nagre-research yung tao. There are too many sources with contradicting narratives. In this case, I weigh things in my head because I know that the media can change their tune and affect your thoughts. So this person
Clearly,
has a huge problem talaga because he knows
clearly,
the
wait.
problem.
Before we agree with
Oh,
the
mic mo,
problem with
mic
this
mo.
person,
Mic mo.
clearly,
Oh,
oh,
yan,
clearly,
okay na.
before we go into agreeing that this person really has a really huge problem, meron lang akong konting clarification. Kung itong tao ay marunong siyang mag-research, sabi, marunong din siyang mag-distinguish ng what is
Ito
fact
raw.
at saka opinion. Diba? Sinabi. Can distinguish between real and fake news. He also says he only follows trustworthy, credible sources on social media. Aba,
Oh.
not everyone can do that. In other words, this guy is an exceptionally awesome person.
Ay, tingnan mo naman yung statement pare. And
He
that is a
is
quote
an
unquote ha.
analytical person.
And look
Kung
at how
kaya
this
niya
person
gawin yan.
responded. You
Oh,
look at the sentence construction. There are too many
oh,
sources. Naka-quote-unquote yan.
exactly.
So, ibig sabihin nito
Oh,
galing to sa respondent. There are
sa
too many
kanya talaga
sources
yan.
with contradicting narratives.
Hmm?
In this
Sige.
case, I weigh things in
Hmm.
my head because I
Hmm.
know that media can change their tune and affect my thoughts and affect your thoughts. So
So
this
a
person,
person who can produce this
oh,
kind of opinion,
mm,
to me is
awesome.
progressive. He is
Not only that,
intelligent
he belongs. We need to invite this
to this
person.
group. To
Diba?
this
No.
group.
Yeah, he
To this
belongs
group.
to the,
You and me.
our audience will benefit from this person.
Yes.
Yeah,
I will
that
I
is
will
a
I
problem.
love this. I will marry this dude.
Mm.
Okay.
So,
Mas awesome pa
firstly,
siya sa akin, sir. Marunong siya mag-research. Paano niya malalaman niya yung real fake news?
yeah,
Napaka-awesome itong tao nito. Isipin mo, sa dami-dami ng
and
mga narrative sa paligid,
mm,
ginagamit niya yung utak niya
yeah,
para masabi.
he weighs things. Ano
Oh,
yung papaniwalaan niya?
so this is the example of a analytical person.
The people that we want to have, the people that we
Yes.
have been encouraging or we would like to be. Ako,
Yes,
I
yes.
would like to be this man.
Absolutely. So ngayon,
Mm.
but
So,
maybe this
but,
guy is awesome. But
mm,
since he analyzed things, he weighed things in his head, but he came up with a conclusion or a choice that did not agree with a rappler, then it is a problem.
yeah, well, here is the problem. No, wala naman silang sinabing ganon. Do not,
Okay, what is the problem?
accuse Rappler of that. Sabi lang naman, ganito lang naman. Pahaging lang naman. The respondent cited the earlier findings also indicated in the survey that he strongly believed that he could distinguish between between false claims and fake news. When asked during the FGD if he thinks he is able to get reliable information in relation to the issues covered in order to form an educated opinion or judgment, he said he is assured because he has sources. His sources are blogs and Facebook pages that allow live audiences to directly ask questions like our audience here. So there's
Good
something
answer.
wrong. Kaya nga,
That is a really good answer.
di ba? Discussions are able, he is able to form his opinion on live discussions like what we're doing, learning.
Itong tao na to, ito yung produkto ng isang estudyante ng UP na pinag-aral ng Philo 1 at dinibdib yung Philo 1.
Oh,
Hindi ginawang biro na kagaya nating dalawa. Diba? Aminin mo yung totoo.
Oh,
Totoo.
hindi nga. I would like to be this person who is the embodiment of the problem.
Kung ganito ako nung estudyante ako sa UP,
Sumampa ka pa.
Suma.
Ano masasabi niyo mga friends, ha? Yung tao ba na yun na dinidescribe ni Rappler may problema? Yeah, I'd like
Meron
to...
na.
Does that guy have a problem?
Yes,
That
meron siya
guy
problema.
is the embodiment of their problem.
Awesome. Diba? This guy, to us, is the embodiment of awesome na suma, pero sa kanila, yun yung problema.
Sabi niya,
Ano ngayon ang hindi problema, sir? Opposite of that.
Sabi ni Tatiana, emphasize on the educated. Yeah, di ba? I can make an educated.
Of course.
Ay, nako. Okay.
So,
balik natin.
Guide question.
No.
What is not a problematic person?
Wait lang.
Sige. Sorry. Sorry.
Ito daw, balik tayo sa election.
Balik.
Treat disinformation as electoral fraud. Dapat to, ganun. Teka. Na-miss out natin yung last point nila doon. Conversely, newsrooms, fact-check organizations, and the academe need to collaborate. And this is what I am concerned about, no? Because they have actually pala converged and collaborated into an organized system of knowledge that is made from experimentation. Hindi, definition pala ng science yun.
Oh my God!
Okay?
Di ba?
So
hindi ito pareho kanong yung pinag-aralan natin yung knowledge management.
no?
Iba yun.
No. Iba.
Nung nag-aral tayong dalawa ng knowledge management,
yeah.
na ginamit natin sa project natin sa UNDP, na ang sinabi ng UNDP, this is a very good idea, a very good method to teach people and a know-how. Di ba? Hindi yung ganun yung sa kanila. Hindi yung ganun. Kasi hindi tayo
Tika. This is what is happening now to us. Conversely, newsroom fact-checkers organizations and the academy need to collaborate more effectively in a way that sends platforms meaning Facebook, YouTube, whatever platform, Twitter, actionable data around disinformation narratives and disinformation actors. That's you and what we say.
Ano yung actionable, sir? Anong ibig sabihin nun?
Throttling?
Itong tayong dalawa, ang ibigay natin sa actionable is an action that is against the law, violates the law, and therefore we can have a right to file an action against that committer, that person who commits that action. Tama ba ang ibigay natin?
Yes, where that person is afforded an opportunity to explain, to be heard, due process, and
has a right to appeal.
And not only that, presumed to be innocent until proven guilty, right?
There is a right to appeal.
There's a right to appeal. There's a right to representation. The right to know exactly
cross-examine the
what
witnesses against him.
Being leveled against you.
Aha.
Ito
dito, meron silang alternative na sistema that is different from our judicial system.
Yep.
Ay,
Kaya,
ang ganda
kaya
nito.
nga, okay, kaya nga, yung 2020 document na sinasabi ko, which is the earlier one from this one, actually calls it the Supreme Court of Facebook. Verbatim nakasulat na.
Hmm.
They
Ano
want to make
sabi?
the Supreme Court of Facebook.
Hmm?
Oh,
Sabi mo. Basta
hindi, dun yun sa 2020 na document, which is yun yung sinulat ko kanina. But whatever, later na yun. So treat disinformation as a form of electoral fraud. Okay, it is important to publicly repudiate candidates use disinformation tactics to win.
So,
Okay,
meron
okay.
ng sinasabi niyang it's like an election fraud. So, what is an
Hindi,
election
kasi,
fraud?
no.
What is an
This
election
is in
fraud?
relation to election.
Exactly. So, there is a law that governs elections, di ba?
Meron sila iba.
And-
Ito nga.
Hindi, sandali lang. There is a law that governs elections in this country.
Hmm.
And this law enumerates what
Are the
acts
offenses.
will be tantamount to election fraud
Oo.
and therefore election offenses
Hmm.
and therefore are actionable against that law.
Hmm.
Pero ang rappler, sinasabi nila, pagka gumawa ka ng ganyan, ay hindi mo i-apply itong batas. Dapat may ibang batas na ay may ibang rules na gagamitin. Anong rules ng rappler Supreme Court?
Okay. So I think this is their advocacy, no, na yung disinformation daw dapat ay i-treat as an election fraud. Una, how do you disprove an information? How do you prove the presence of disinformation? Okay.
Ay,
To our listeners,
o sige. Go ahead.
yung sinasabi na truth, pag tumingin ka sa verifiles na ang kanilang nakalagay dyan sa baba ng kanilang logo ay truth is our business, parang gano'n.
Ganun nga yun.
Alam mo, I really do not believe that anyone or anything or any person for that matter can actually have a grasp of what truth is about things that happened in the past. And you cannot even speak of truth when you're talking about the future of your vision. There's no truth there. It's just a dream. And so much so that it also pertains to what is your idea of the past. There's no truth
Which is a
there.
memory.
Yes.
There is no truth in memories.
And in communication, what matters is what you and I agree
As
Tama?
facts.
as facts. But that is just between you and me. But if you really want to establish a fact, go to court. But if you want to establish that a person did not say, kumbaga, misstated a fact, for you to
Sue
be
him.
able to do that, sue him first. Go to court and prove that that is not a fact.
Yes.
Do not just because the court is the only institution in this democratic world that we know that can establish a fact.
That is what I'm
Okay.
talking about.
Enforcement of this policy needs to take into consideration the fact that most black propaganda circulating false accounts or are circulating in false accounts or anonymous managed pages, particularly in relation to black propaganda and troll farms. Candidates, watchdog groups should consider engaging lawyers who can file the necessary legal requests with respective platforms and authorities as necessary to unmask. Better pa yan. Okay? Okay, go through the process. File a law, get a lawyer. Go through the process. Yan, I can agree with this. Ha?
But I cannot agree with that.
Why?
Bakit?
Sige.
Anong law ang tinutukoy nila?
Yun nga, you go to the process. I don't know
What law?
if they will succeed.
The law on libel is wrong, sabi ni Maria Ressa. So, what law are we going to use?
Okay, ganito nga. I agree with this because if you undergo the process, at the end of the day, you will not get anything.
Especially when you also cancel the law that you are supposed to be
Oh, yes.
getting your help from.
Yeah. But
Kasi nung kinasuhan siya at na-convict siya ng criminal crime, sinasabi niya ngayon na wala namang kalokohan
Yes.
yung batas na yan.
but
Ginamit lang yan ng gobyerno.
even libel does not shut down
A person.
press. No, a press. A platform. It does not shut down a platform. It does not shut down the person's continuation of the usage of his God-given right to talk.
So whatever it is that
kaya
they are talking about,
this is
must
different.
be something else.
Kaya nga sinasabi ko, try it. Go. Engage lawyers.
Interesting.
Go to a court because what will you ask the court?
Beautiful.
Di ba? No law can be passed abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. So,
Ngayon,
do
gusto
we have
nilang
a law?
gumawa ng batas na ganyan. Tingnan natin kung lumusot yan sa no law shall be passed abridging the freedom of speech of expression and of the press.
Kaya nga, sabi ko, I like this. Go engage lawyers. Go through the process because you will not get anything. Okay? Ito yung masama, pare. Address the algorithmic amplification of disinformation and hate. Ako, biktima ako dyan sa hate.
They are already doing this.
No. Ako, naka-flag nga ako for hate speech.
Ako rin.
Naka-flag ako for hate speech without doing any hate speech because I was actually calling out Isko Moreno for his hate speech.
For what he said.
For his hate speech.
Yes.
Okay, so
this is beautiful. Itong pinopropose ng Rappler na batas at saka yung sistema ng pag-implement ng batas ay napakaganda.
Okay, the key daw to solving information is the social media platform itself. So
It's
that
not the
means
courts?
no.
Wow. Ang ganda.
No, not the law, but the social media platform itself.
Lol.
So, dahil dyan, ikaw ay maaring ma-penalize, ma-decirculate, or ma-throttle, ma-unpublish. And like, who among our readers now are able to receive our content? Ay, sus, wala pa sa 10%.
Oo.
Okay?
So ngayon ganito ganito ang tanong kasi alas 12 na malapit na mag-alas 12. So let's start asking this. Let's start interrogating this proposal and see if there are answers there and if it has answers for our interrogations. Then let's see if that answer makes sense.
Sinong interrogate mo?
Itong papel na to. Let's interrogate this. Let's cross-examine this.
Hindi. Dito kita papa-interrogate ha. I'll jump so much further. Jump
around.
drive. I'll jump drive page up. Ano pa yan? I want to go to page 90 something. Sige, magsalita ka. I'll go to page 90 something. Okay?
Wala akong sasabihin. Hindi ko nga alam ano yung interrogate ko eh. Bilisan mo siya.
Wag na yan. Okay. Plot. Walang kwenta yan. Ano to, pare? Pare, this is a scientific paper. This is a very good research. I read it. It is solid research.
I know that.
But
I know how to interrogate a scientific paper. Wag lang yung mga numerong graph kasi hindi ko alam kung ano yung ibig sabihin yan. Yung mga words lang, words.
Ito yung mga ano. Okay. Dito tayo magsimula, The political belief of respondents, as indicated in their views with respect to the three issues covered by this study, appear to be a factor in their susceptibility to believing particular claims. Okay? So, yung mga taon to, kagaya nitong taga Cebu, for him, if the piece of content involves hate speech, then it is likely to be disinformation. Kaya, mag-ingat ka kasi ganyan yung audience. Pag nagsimula ka na sa magmumura,
disinformation.
This is the public. I would believe this person. Kaya hindi ako nagmumura sa mga post ko, wala akong minumura. Nagsusulat
But is that a justified? Is that a justified conclusion?
this is based on on their survey. Tao nagsabi niyan. Para sa tao na yan,
Sinurvey ba yung nabasa, kung ilang nabasa nitong taong to ang
malamang hindi natin alam, no?
representation lang ito ng taong ito na hindi natin alam kung sino to.
Okay. So may mga taong ganyan, Kaya ang sinusulat ko lang fact you. Or di kaya, what the fact? Ganun.
Okay, so
okay,
ang mga tao na nagmumura, definitely, or is it definitely or most likely are disinformation.
Or okay,
ang mga sinasabi niya ay disinformation.
If it's already an attack on something, on a certain person, then it's disinformation daw. Okay, they'd like to highlight this one.
So kung halimbawa, sa sobrang galit mo dahil sinungaling ito si Maria Ressa at sinasabi niya na ang kanyang conviction ay politically motivated and not based on findings of facts and law, tas minura mo siya bago mo sinabi itong katotohanan, sinight mo ang desisyon ng Court of Appeals at saka ng RTC, disinformation yung ginagawa mo.
At saka kayo, mga friends, when they use inflammatory words to prompt you to comment, they will increase. Comment kayo ngayon, ha? Ano ba yung inflammatory words? Inflammation, yung namamaga. Paano ba natin ito sige nga, mag-comment ka kayo dyan mga audience namin. Mag-comment kayo.
Bornhub. Mamamaga ka niya.
Inflammatory ba yun? Okay.
Inflammatory.
Okay. In the survey, the specific FGD respondent indicates, wag na tayo dyan. So there are similarities between disinformation techniques practiced in the Philippines and the Russian propaganda. Okay, ha? The Russian propaganda. Sabi. Rappler's investigation, for instance, showed that revisionist narratives relate to martial law and Marcos' achievements, for instance, were served repeatedly to hundreds of groups and pages, including pages supposedly tackling real Philippine history. The same is true for messaging attacking the press and promoting the drug war.
So, inilista na tayo dyan.
Wait lang. Okay. Okay. Gave different arguments. Sources of disinformation. Pro-Duterte social media influencers, Sasasot, Mocha Uson, Thinking Pinoy, Jam Magno, Attorney Bruce Rivera, and Larry Gadon were repeatedly mentioned as the ones who posted or shared these claims. Uson, Angeles, Nieto, Gador, and Cruz-Angeles have been repeatedly flagged by independent fact-checkers for posting falsehoods.
Alright.
Explain.
This is a statement of fact o quote lang din daw to?
No. That's them.
No. Is this a quote of a respondent?
No. This is them. This is the analytical side. Yes. Okay.
Beautiful. Okay. I now have another libel case for Maria Ressa. I love it.
Ay, taga mga friends. Ano ko muna kasi naka full screen ako. Marami pa bang natitira? Meron pa?
Wala na.
Ay, wala na. Mag-stars naman kayo para kay Attorney Ahmed. Dahil sikat. Wala bang palakpakan dyan?
Anong stars?
Palakpakan naman.
Wala naman ako dyan.
Hindi. Pag
Cruz-Angeles
sinabi kasi
ayaw,
Cruz-Angeles, Luminous na yan. Wala namang iba
Sinadya, ginawa nila Cruz-Angeles para si Cruz-Angeles lang pwedeng mag-file ng kaso. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng mag-file ng kaso ang Luminous dahil hindi naman yan na juridical person.
Wala bang yan mo palakpakan mo si Kerong Pinoy. Palakpakan pa.
Mahirapan tayo dyan. Okay. So nag-quote pa na Bisaya
Dili na ako ma-pinpoint nga.
So ngayon. Ang tanong ko, may interrogation na question first interrogation. About it, balik.
Go.
My first interrogatory question is this. Itong mga tao na na-interview nila na naniwala, yung mga tao mismo naniniwala doon sa katotohanan daw, kunyari na sinasabi, pero disinformation pala dahil lang nagmumura nga di ba? Oh, nagmumura. So, disinformation, hindi totoo yan, falsehood yan. Okay? So, many of the participants na naka-identify or naka-remember dito sa mga taong itong mga pangalan na to, ay tutulungan ng rappler.
Kailangan. They need to be uplifted. Ha?
Uplifted. Kasi they are languishing in the
dystopia.
Oo, they're languishing in the immense oppressiveness of disinformation of these people.
Isang bagsak.
Okay. So they shall be saved by rappler.
Saved by the bell.
And for example, sabihin natin si rappler din ay biktima ng mga yan kasi nagpapaniwala siya sa simula na may demokrasya sa Pilipinas. Okay, nagpapaniwala siya sa mga sinasabi natin. Tayo rin na nagsasabi, may demokrasya sa Pilipinas. Nagpapaniwala siya, pumunta sa korte, hindi siya nag-plead guilty, nagkunyari, I'm not guilty. Tapos ngayon, nagpaniwala siya sa sistema ng korte natin, sa batas, tapos natalo siya, na-convict siya, at in-uphold yung conviction ng CA. Di ba? Ang tanong ngayon yan, ano ang gagamitin ng rappler para i-save itong mga taong ito?
Kaya nga we are being fact-checked by convicted, affirmed libel.
So, does that mean that fact-checking is now a replacement and a substitute for a law? Diba? Kasi mapapanish na itong mga taong ito na nang api doon sa mga respondents nila So fact-checking now is this law that they're talking about.
Ito kaya, na-fact-check kaya to na si, President Duterte, when he went to Russia, naalala niyo yung trip ni President Duterte sa Russia, it was cut short because when they were there, the Maute group started at the encounter with the Maute group was already starting to escalate, no? And it had to be cut short. Kung 5 araw yun, naging 2 lang, no? So the Philippines and Russia's communication offices forged, no? Among others, marami, a partnership in information dissemination. Duterte's entourage included.
So this is a fact,
Sabi.
As found by rappler.
Okay. So in entourage included PCOO Secretary Martin Andanar, former singer-dancer, and then PCOO Assistant Secretary. Talagang merong merong apelyido. Meron the former singer-dancer, and then PCOO Assistant Secretary Mocha Uson, and bloggers Ray Joseph Nieto and Carlos Munda. Sino ba yan? Hindi ko kilala.
Di ko rin kilala.
But whoever. But they forged a partnership in information dissemination.
And this is proven.
May source sila dyan. Nababasa mo pa ba yung source? Kasi
Hindi
merong may quote eh.
Sino daw yung nagsabi si Pia Ranyada?
Pia Ranyada. Yan ata eh.
Pia Ranyada, reporter ng Rappler yan eh. Hello.
Yun.
So ito si Pia Ranyada, alam niya to. Alam niya sa fact itong pinagsasabi niya.
That they forged a partnership in information dissemination. Okay?
So, kung dalhin natin sa korte para malaman natin kay Pia Ranyada kung anong katotohanan nito ay pwede. Okay? So, the seeding of meta-narratives, okay, in analyzing information against the press. Ayoko na yan, ako na naman yan. Ako yan eh. Pero hindi nila ako sinulat. Okay. Journalists are often shamed in public. I don't do that. I don't shame journalists in public. In posts often rife with misogyny, gendered attacks. Huwag nyo kasing gawin yan, mga friends. Huwag nyo naman ganyanin. Sexualization, hate. Pero wala akong narinig dyan sa sexualization. Teka muna. So, itong mga tao na to, kapag sila ang iniinsulto, inaatake ng mga taong bayan,
Bawal.
Pero pag tinawag ang vloggers ng cheap
Flyers.
at they are
False.
substandard and they did not go to college because they are poor and they are supporters of Marcos and therefore they do not know research and whatever, and therefore they are lying. This is not bad because it's a journalist that says this.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Because it is essential for a vibrant democracy nga, di ba? Sabi. Okay. Okay. Now this is how they view the people's gaining trust in government. So during the pandemic daw, there has been a growth of media organizations and government agencies. Okay. And then sabi nila dito, next slide, when asked if he thinks he gets enough reliable information on the issues tackled, okay, sabi, para sa kuha, wala. Para sa kuha, wakay paki.
Wakay enough information.
I mean, designated or the implementing bodies. So, kumbaga, di ba? Why should I not distrust them?
I trust the government.
I don't care if I have enough information because I trust it to the implementing bodies. May mali ba dito? First, when asked to clarify if he has reliable sources, yung taong na yun, di ba? Information to make an opinion, judgment. Say, I think I should be coming from government agencies. Ngakuan.
Yes.
No? Para sa kuha, wala kay research about ano.
Mali yan. Wrong yan, wrong. Alam mo kung bakit? Kasi I should trust Rappler. And everything must only come from Rappler.
Okay. This could be one reason why some participants in the area think favorably in the war of drugs, while perhaps not considering that the programs mentioned are not applicable to the entire country, where the situation is much different, to say the least. This appears to have affected general perception of the war on drugs. Reports from one local government in relation to the specific program were taken as a representation of how the war on drugs was conducted in a general all over the country. This is misleading at best. Kasi pinagzumba lang naman daw yung mga tao.
So yung this is misleading at best. He is a Rappler now is criticizing his respondent.
Oh yes, of course. Na-mislead nga.
Misleading daw yung respondent. Okay.
By the government. Okay. Okay, the government amplified by the platforms this blind trust in government online sources makes audience vulnerable to disinformation. So if you will remember why I really made it a big deal when they attacked the DPWH in their fact check. Diba? Because that document made by the DPWH is admissible in court. Diba? Things in general, I'm not saying that particular document, but in general, a published document made by a government agency has a weight even in court as representative of the truth. And if you want to disprove that, you have to litigate against that document's truth. Hindi mo siya pwedeng i-assume. Di ba? And then they just fact check it and then say that this is
wrong.
False.
Yes.
Okay.
False.
Di ba? You even need to go to court to prove that the government document
just wait for Rappler to say it's false.
No, it was not Rappler did this, but the Philippine Star. Are they related? We will see. Okay, as illustrated in the analysis of the information, cascade social media, ito, kasalanan ka daw, social media chatter about the drug war, ganyan. It was illustrated in the case study in the attacks against Laila de Lima, Southeast Asian Games, and ABS-CBN case. Okay? The current administration and personalities linked to it have already been exposed a number of times for their massive use of propaganda and disinformation techniques online.
Mhm.
In its most recent takedown, Facebook identified officials of the Philippine military as the administrators of dubious pages as to sow false claims and attacks on activists. Rappler's investigation, which led to the takedown, revealed that these dubious pages were being amplified by official police pages. Naalala mo yung sa Nika na nag-imbestiga pa sila kung sino may gawa nito, ganyan-ganyan. Hindi rin nila matukoy. Ito, this is a direct admission. Rappler's investigation, which led to the takedown, revealed that these dubious pages were being amplified by official pages.
Kasi sinong na-take down yan?
Naalala mo yung nagalit si Duterte? Kasi yung mga social media pages na niraran ng AFP at saka ng mga police as part of the counter-terrorism and siyempre, merong mga peke doon. Binisto nila. Pina-take down.
Tama lang.
No, but these were military stuff. Naalala mo, okay, si FBI mismo FBI.
Okay, sinabi nila na yung mga sites na yun are private sites, not
again, Facebook identified officials of the Philippine military as administrators of dubious pages used to sow false claims. Naalala mo yung sinabi ni Duterte na paaalisin ko kayo dito sa Pilipinas?
Yeah, I remember that.
This was the one.
Ang tanong ko is what is the justification in Rappler's concluding that these are dubious pages?
Whatever it was. Because they saw false claims and attacks activists. Nang-red tag daw.
Which is what exactly? False claims? What false claims? That these NPA people are rebellious people that are violating the law? Because that is what military...
Whatever the reason was, they jeopardized military operations. Ganun lang yun. Revealed that these dubious pages were being amplified by official police pages. I remember when I was in KBP, this was a huge controversy because not really controversy, but it was a question of policy. Now, what will be our policy for reporters covering ongoing military operations?
Yes.
Because you have the right to report.
The president has the power to impose
the reporter. But the reporter has the right to report. But kami sa KBP on the broadcaster side, we recognize that right. We know our reporters' eagerness. Pero what if napasama kayo sa military o nakita niyo yung military na pumuposisyon sa isang maliblib na to attack
element of
the
surprise.
enemy with the element of surprise tapos ni-report nyo sa radyo.
Nalaman tuloy na buko.
Diba? Wouldn't you be risking the military's life? Or ano yun? So the policy there is never to report any operational issues. Never
that
to interfere.
Happening.
No, that was the policy that was agreed upon, and it's in the broadcast code.
Yes, but remember that kind of policy still gives the discretion to the reporter.
Yes, and if the reporter does not follow that,
what he deems as a
operational
action that will endanger the military.
No, operational details. Operational details will never be reported.
So wala siyang discretion doon.
Wala. And if he does it, he will be violating the broadcast code. Di ba? Maganda.
Right.
That is that is for broadcast, but these people are not broadcast. These are print people. These are different breed. Okay. Finding from a follow-up on this show the extensive use of official channels to push out propaganda. So, siyempre, gobyerno, the government communicates.
Teka muna.
Outright lies.
Sino ang mga sources ng Rappler dito? Diyan, sa halimbawa, 104, sinong source niyan?
They are merong naka
Sino naka-footnote diyan?
wait lami 104.
Yan, 104.
Kaya nga, let me just open kasi naka full screen ako hindi ko makita. Okay. So, mamaya tingnan natin yan. Kung anong source niya yan. So let's just move forward.
Research team.
Okay, so
ang source nila rappler din.
Sila rin
Ganda.
Okay.
Ang ganda.
Bakit daw dangerous? Bakit daw dangerous ha? So yung mga tao natin nakikinig dyan, kung nandyan pa kayo, bakit daw ito dangerous? Kasi tinan mo, kinumpara niya. Yung NTF-ERCAC, ganito daw karami yung exposure sa web. Tapos yung karapatan ay ganito lang. Problema yan. Targets of online disinformation and smear campaigns pushed out through government channels and its propaganda networks are unable to fight back because they're unable to match the reach of their attackers, which are growing.
Okay.
Di ba ito yung function ng gobyerno?
Hindi. Not before you go there. Ang reach ng isang page, okay? Ang reach ng isang page does not say anything, or is not because it is
Meron pa ba nun?
has no direct relation to its being a disinformation agent. Kahit totoo yan o hindi, ang kanyang reach, ang dami ng kanyang followers ay walang kinalaman dyan. Walang kinalaman.
Malarinig ba yun?
Sinasabi nito ni Rappler na yung sino ba yung karapatan, dahil konti lang yung following, ay totoo ang sinasabi.
Okay, wait.
Therefore,
tinan mo yung first sentence ha? This is dangerous.
Ng following kasi hindi dahil totoo ang sinasabi nila. What the fuck?
Okay. This is dangerous ha? Sabi ha, this is dangerous. Hatas don't forget. The first sentence says this is dangerous. Considering how much these official sources have grown. Official sources meaning government websites, government social media presence. It is a danger because the media, which is the functional role of verifying and correcting dubious claims, is unable to match the reach of the government. Why would you like to match the reach of the government?
How can you ever match the reach of the government when it has the unlimitable power of the purse? Do you even understand what democracy is in the Constitution?
So yung gobyerno na may incoherent policy, ayoko nang pag-usapan yan. So ito yung kanilang problema, okay? Okay? While news organizations suffered, wala na akong pakialam dyan.
Tama na yan.
Okay?
Dosin.
Okay. So, mga kaibigan,
Conclusion.
late ako. Okay, sino ba itong mga to? Kain lang ako. Kunti lang. Sino na late si Delcy?
Sino to sila?
Delcy, kain lang ako. Ang gutom ako doon.
Mag-share muna tayo dahil konti na lang yung nanonood.
Share. Must have a media platform to replace FB. Tama yan. Gusto ko yan. Parang sa China, no?
Okay, sino nga do? Sino to sila?
Sino sila? Sino?
Sino
friends
to
natin?
sinasabi mo on face? Who are they?
Ano, no?
Who are they nga? Sino nga to sila?
Ito sila, sila Mildred. Ito mga, natin ba? Listeners.
Labo mo kausap eh.
Ano yun?
Sino nga? Ayan, ano nga yan siya? Conclusion, ano nga yan siya?
Okay. Conclusion muna nila. Okay. Sabi nila, so, ngayon daw election, given that the content tailor-fit, personalized, ordinary citizens need to be involved in policing the space. The bottom line is this. By its very nature, social media cannot be monitored the way traditional media is. Okay? General recommendations. The key to solving the disinformation problem in social media platform themselves. Sinabi nila kanina, the solution should be in addressing malign algorithms that amplify hate and disinformation for the sake of increasing time on site. Alam mo ito, itong Malign algorithm, we need to study this, no? Kung ano to. Kasi I think this is what is being used against us. We are being,
It's clearly what is being used against us.
this is what they're using.
Because it is a catch-all algorithm. When a person by nature, kahit na hindi niya alam itong algorithm na to, pagka nakabasa ng kasinungalingan yan, ay mabibwisit yan. Ngayon, kung hindi yan sanay sa etiquette ng internet, ay magmumura nga yan. Ay, sinaulo pala itong babaeng to kung ano sinasabi. Malign yan. Maligning yung statement na yan. And therefore,
and then the algorithm will
yan siya.
Will slow down your your circulation. But what I fear is this. Even if your speech there doesn't even use any hate speech,
but only cites. But only cites.
You can be specifically targeted by this algorithm and classified as maligning site. Tama?
So ang response natin, tapos ka na ba dyan sa
So persistent attacks have clearly crippled the Philippine press. Ito yung problema nila. It has crippled the Philippine press, and critical actions need to be done in this respect. Okay, recommendations is platforms. Okay, nabasa na natin to kanina. And then again, funding.
Alam na natin yan.
Okay,
so response. Okay. Napag-usapan natin dito sa Luminous Live, mula nung kami nung dalawa ni Sir Uncle JP ang nagsimulang magsalita dito, napag-alaman natin ang sistema ng demokrasya. Lalong-lalo na sa larangan ng kalayaang mag-salita, mag-express, maghayag, sa pamamagitan ng hindi salita, kundi painting, whatever, kanta, ganyan. At saka mag-publish. Diba? Yun yung pinag-aralan natin. Nag-aralan natin yan. Intindihan natin na lahat ng tao ay mayroong karapatang ganito. Kung ang noong panahon, sa panahon ng medieval ages and so on, hanggang sa nagkaroon ng internet, bago nagkaroon ng internet, ang press lang, the individual citizens may karapatan na magsalita, to speech, at saka to express. Pero wala silang karapatan ng press kasi kung hindi sila press. Pero kung sila ay press na noon pa, ay meron na silang karapatan ng press, freedom of the press. Pero nga, dahil sabi natin, sa onset ng internet, ay pwede na nating i-express yung ating sarili sa pamamagitan ng ating sariling publication. Because meron na tayong sari-sariling website, page, account wall sa Facebook, at sa ibig sabihin, ang onset ng social media platforms ay nagbigay sa bawat isang tao ng paraan na para i-publish yung kanyang saloobin, freedom of speech at yung kanyang expression, ay maaring tayong lahat na ngayon ay may freedom of the press na rin because we are able to self-publish. Okay? Ngayon, tayong lahat na pala merong ganyan. Kung i-apply natin itong sinasabi ng rappler, ay merong mga taong mapagbabawalang magsalita, mag-express, at mag-publish.
Agree.
At ang sinasabi ng rappler, itong ginagawa nila will serve democracy and strengthen the freedom of the press. Ikaw ang contradiction dyan sa sinasabi niya. Na, while meron kang pinapatahimik ng mga tao based on your rules of what an algorithm called the Malign algorithm, napapatahimik mo yung isang tao na standing his right to express, to speak, and to publish, you still claim that you are bolstering democracy and freedom of the press.
Ano maripayag ka dyan?
Ano yun?
Di ba? Payag ka dyan, Ana Marie?
Ano yun?
Now, ngayon, ito. Yan natin ito.
Teka muna.
Tingnan muna natin yung mga behind.
Sandali lang. Mamaya
Kanino
yan.
tayo magpapasalamat?
Last na to.
Oh, sige.
Last na to. Sabi, gusto nilang i-uphold at saka paunlarin ang demokrasya at freedom of the press. Kaya pinapatahimik nila itong mga tao na to using something like Malign.
Algorithm. Parang ganun.
At ang paggawa nitong ginagawa nila ay hindi ito nag-violate sa constitutional provision na nagsasabing no law shall be enacted which shall abridge the freedom of the speech, freedom of expression, and of the press. So kapag ka, under that provision, ang sinasabi niyan, pagka gumawa ka ng batas na mangingialam sa karapatang itong tatlong ito, ay magva-violate yan ng Constitution. Itong pinopropose ng rappler ay yan nga mismo ang gagawin. Except that, hindi yata itong batas, sir.
Hindi nga batas. Kaya ginagawa lang nila. Ginagawa lang nila without any law. Because sabi ng Constitution, no law. Then this is not a law. This is not a law.
So makakalusot. It does not violate the Constitution.
It is not
Let's
a law.
now talk about democracy.
Who?
Let us now muna talk about democracy. Ang democracy, ang mga tao ang gumagawa ng mga bagay, mga batas na mag-govern sa kanila. Dito sa ginagawa ng rappler, ang mga tao ba ang gumawa niya o ang rappler lang?
Hindi. Meron siyang mga kasamahan.
Meron siyang mga kasamahan na hindi...
nagpa-finance sa kanya. Sabi nagpa-finance. Ito, nagpa-finance. Ito, yan. USAID. Ang nagpa-finance. At saka itong Internews is the overriding implementer of the funding from USAID.
So ito yung SS.
This is the Gestapo.
Gestapo.
The team behind, Gestapo. Mga friends, itong totoo ba info, ito yung pinost ko na wala atang nakakaintindi no kung paano puntahan. Kasi, di ba, mahilig tayo sa .com, .org, So, try this out. Ang site is totooba.info. Okay? Now, this, they have, again, I do not want to say that all of these media entities na nakalista dito are into this shenanigan. Okay? Because for all intents and purposes, yung iba dito, hindi ko sure kung alam nila kasi kasama sa plano na makipag-linkage with other groups. So malamang yung iba dyan na napasama lang without really understanding what the motives of the others are. Yan, ha? So I do not want to I want that disclaimer out, ha? So ito yung mga kasama nila si Engage Media, Foundation for Media Alternatives. I do not know who these people are. Life Solutions. National Union of Journalists of the Philippines, NUJP.
May kilala ako dyan.
Peace and Conflict Journalism Network. Hindi ko alam what is group is. PCJ.
Rappler. Riwi.
UP. College of Mass Communication. The Verifiles. Okay. And then there's another list. Wait lang. There's another list. Sige, go ahead. Tingnan mo muna yan. So, the strategy kasi is to mix it.
Same question. Are these groups and individuals the sovereign Filipino people?
No.
Are they?
No.
No?
No. They're part of the people. The body politic, the entire polity. Sabi nga,
sovereign Filipino people this general term, sovereign Filipino people, are they composed of organizations of media like these things?
No.
What is it composed of?
it cannot be composed because it is an ephemeral thing. It only
It is
speaks once in
composed
a.
of the human beings called
Kaya nga.
citizens.
Yeah, but you cannot hold them all in one place, di ba?
No, you can't. But that is a general
That's
term
why.
for everyone that is a Filipino.
Correct. But the Filipino people itself, right, di ba?
Yes.
It's not just you and me. It's not just me and our audience here or
It
whoever
is a
is our
different
friends.
entity.
So, as an entity, it is like a fiction, di ba? Legal fiction, but it expresses its will through the votes,
Through
and
the
once represented
representatives.
by their representatives in government, that is how it manifests its will. Ano lang yun?
Sa Republic, anong nangyari? Ang
No, I'm just
discussion
showing,
natin na ang Pilipinas ay isang Republican, democratic, and representative state. Dapat ang sovereign ay nire-representa ng kanilang mga representatives that are elected. The congressmen, the senators, and those things. Yung mga representatives na yun ang siyang gagawa ng batas that will govern the actions of all these sovereign people. Tama? Dito sa proposal ng rappler, is it the representatives that are duly elected by the people who are making these rules that they're talking about?
No.
No.
Sinasubmit lang nila dito sa mga funders and nagkaroon sila ng
sila yung gawing representative ng mga tao.
Ito. So aside from yung nakita natin kanina, okay? Dito pa nanggagaling yung ano. Dito nanggagaling yung fact-checking, Ito yung mga fact-checkers nila.
Ito yung napaka-honest ng mga mga grupong ito. Sinabi ng Philstar na mali daw yung Court of Appeals.
Okay. So, dagdag dun sa ating pinakita kanina, this is the site. Mahirap nga lang siyang hanapin. Nakita niyo ba kung paano ko siya sinearch? Nakalabas naman dyan kanina, di ba? So, you will see that behind our fact-checkers, there's Rappler.
RDs.
Okay, there's ABS-CBN, News, Philstar. I don't know this first one, who they are. Independent news and information website covering the Philippines.
Yes. But are they the representatives of the people? Just to be clear about that, are they the validly?
Obviously not.
Not. Okay, that's one.
Obviously
Second,
not.
Second, are the rules created or being proposed by these things are going to be implemented by a government of this country?
No. It's implemented by these people.
And the social media.
Ito, watchdogs. Watchdogs, okay. What is their connection to Facebook itself?
Ang mag-i-implement niyan, hindi ang gobyerno ng Pilipinas.
Hindi po.
Ano ang penalty? Ang penalty ay ma-take down. Hindi na sila makakapag-express ng kanilang mga freedom of speech, expression.
Which is equivalent to censorship.
So ngayon, itong sinasuggest nila is like a new government that will replace our government.
Yes,
that government that we should be trusting and we should believe.
Which is a problem if you trust.
What the government is saying to us now is wrong because that government is a liar. So they are now proposing a new government that is not elected by the people but chosen by these fact
checkers. Okay. I'll just show you one.
Are we still a constitutional country now?
Ito daw. So, dito tong may 10,000 ayuda mga parehistro national ID. Okay. Some of these are okay naman But okay, I'm looking for that one where they say that
the Court of Appeals is wrong.
Okay. Okay, see, just go ahead, no?
The Court of Appeals is wrong. Yan ang siguro ang mas magandang makita natin kung nandyan kung meron silang fact check.
Hindi naman yun. Sinabi bang Court of Appeals is wrong?
Ay,
Meron ba tayong
sinabi nila, the Court of Appeals is na completely
ito
wrong.
ang sinabi nila dito is yung COA, hindi Court of Appeals.
Hindi. Yung kay yung
alin?
pinak-check ng Philstar yung
yung kay
Maria Ressa.
yung kay Maria Ressa. Wala dito.
Bakit wala yun dyan?
Hindi yun. Saan ba yun nanggaling? Oo nga, ba't
Isipin
wala
mo.
yun dito?
Isipin
Hindi
mo,
ko
sabihin
pa
pa
nakita
naman
dito.
na ang Court of Appeals, a court, is wrong. It's not telling the correct things.
Okay, pwede naman to. Merong isa dito, okay, na ang kino-correct nila was the head of COA itself na nag-testify sa Senate na sinasabi niya na wala kami nakitang sinasabi na COA has no authority to say that. Hindi ko na makita tuloy. I-review nyo mga kaibigan. Mga kaibigan, dito kayo mag-review. Tingnan nyo to. Okay? Now, si Rappler has his own, meron siyang isang grupo pa na mga sarili niya mga fact check nito. Ano ba yung requirement kasi para ma-accredit ni Facebook para maging fact checker? You must have at least one fact check a week.
Ay, bukas na natin sabihin niya. Haba tayo eh.
Okay?
Kasi
so,
diba,
bukas rules tayo?
itong discussion.
Oo. So, bukas, alamin natin yung alamin natin yung connection nila with Facebook. Bukas. Yun yung ating topic. No? How do they relate to Facebook? Paano nila to natatranslate into taking down? No? Through what means? Through what contract? Through by delict, quasi-delict, or by whatever?
Hindi nga batas eh. Hindi batas ang sinusunod.
Hindi, meron naman silang agreement.
Malign algorithm.
Kaya, so mga kaibigan, ito yung danger dito, no? Kasi if makalusot kasi itong kanilang practice na sinasabi ni Attorney Ahmed na which oversteps certain functions of the government itself. Napakadelikado kapag na-establish. No, hindi na to algorithm, na-establish sa mata ng publiko na maaari palang i-discredit ang kahit sino, kahit gobyerno, just by a simple fact check.
Fact check.
And
Not only that.
Pag na-establish to, kasi bago lang to this is not new.
Hindi lang sinasabing mali ang gobyerno. Sinasabi, wala na ngayong credibility ang gobyerno magsalita from now on kasi na-fact check na sila.
Because they can actually correct that government. That government statement can actually be superseded by the media. Their media. Not all media, ha? Not all media. Naririnig nyo ba si GMA7 na nagpa-fact check? I do not know. I do not know it for a fact. I will not answer.
Sila, pero sa sarili nila.
Sarili nila pinafact check nila. Ganun ba? Hindi. I
Pero
do not know it for a
natin
fact.
excuse. Hindi natin sinasabing wala rin silang kinalaman dyan.
We cannot say, but ABS-CBN
yung
is there.
paniwala na ito na pinalalaganap ng rappler ay maaaring sakyan to ng media kahit sino.
Yes. And tawag nito, ang encroachment into the government credibility, which they outright say is a problem. Aba, napakaganda niyan sa ating demokrasya. That is
maganda yan.
It's so
Kasi
profound.
It short circuits our legal system, our judicial system, which the Constitution, by the principle of a Republican and democratic and representative state, ay sinasabing itong body na to ang siyang merong poder na magsasabi kung ano ang naaayon at ano ang hindi naaayon sa batas.
Because tinutulungan nila yung mga mangmang at mga walang alam na publiko sa mga kagaya natin.
Ang sinasabi nila ay tanggalin na yung judicial system na yan. Ito na lang mga fact checker ang gagawin nating substitute dyan para ma-solve ang problema natin sa demokrasya. Vibrant democracy. Mali ka yung sinabi mo na wala ng bago na political philosophy sa Pilipinas. Meron.
Ito.
Insanity is the new political philosophy.
No, this
of
is
the
the
Philippines.
mediocrity. Mediocrity. No?
No. Mediocrity.
Mediocrity.
Sige.
Mediocrity.
Mediocrity.
Tawagan nito to mediocrity.
Bukas
Ay,
naman, bukas
nako.
naman.
Oh, may mga ano ba? May mga tanong ba sila? Baka may tanong lang. Did you like this subject matter tonight? Tomorrow we will disclose the connection with Facebook. No, how they connect and who is their connecting point. Now, with this at hand, is the government doing enough to protect our freedom of speech? Maybe the government is not even realizing this. Okay,
Yes.
it seems to be I'm the only. Hindi, not me, no. The Nika has been onto this, no. The kayo. Oh, si Ahmed has been onto this. Yes.
Pero kasi
Ano?
tignan ninyo ang definition ng inciting to sedition, at sige, yan lang muna. Sedition, inciting to sedition, at saka lang muna. Tingnan natin kung itong ginagawa nila ay hindi sedition or inciting to sedition. Kasi gusto nilang palitan na yung gobyerno, wala nang batas, ito na lang algorithm ang mag-apply dyan. Wala nang democratic freedom of speech and expression. Ito na lang pagka nag-malign ka, galit na galit ka, minura mo yung kauso po, ay kasinungalingan na lahat ang sasabihin mo. And therefore, hindi ka na dapat pwedeng magsalita. Tignan natin kung yan bang sistema na yan, pag gusto mong ipinalit sa gobyerno na tinayo at tinatag ng ating saligang batas, ay kung hindi ba yan siya sedition. Ano ha?
We'll see. Tomorrow, will you be able to lead that topic, no? Kasi maganda talagang matingnan natin yan. Pero ang mahalaga pa sa akin kasi na-link na natin na sila ay group. No? That they are grouped into a body which you can actually search, no? It's now there's a website that calls itself totooba.info, INFO, and their link is Internews, which is a 40-year-old institution. 40-year-old din Internews, pare.
Mas matanda pa yung komunismong rebellion sa Pilipinas.
Kaya nga bagong ideolohiya to eh. Okay? And then okay. Ito nakalimutan ko lang ha. Ito pang pinali lang natin to. Check it namin alam niyo yung fake news? Ito yung nilalabanan nila, tama? Fake, di ba?
What are you talking about? Bilisan mo.
Fake news is what they're trying to fight with this fact-checking, tama?
No.
Ano?
Ang kinakalaban nila ay ang diktadorya na hindi democratic na gobyerno. Hindi fake news, friends.
Ha?
Hindi fake news. Fake news lang ba? Fake news.
Hindi,
fake
yun
news
yung entry point.
correct lamang.
Yun nga yung entry point
dito.
dito.
Ang penalty ng kanilang mga rules nila dito, ang penalty for saying fake news is to silence people.
Do you know this guy?
Kilala ko yan, si Jon Stewart.
Okay. No. I want to ask our audience, what is this guy's contribution to the world?
Comedy. Comedy.
Okay, he's a comedian. Sa mga natin, alam niyo ba yung kanyang, nawawala ako ha? Shit, ano ba yan? Where am I? Hindi ko nakikita yung video natin eh. Saglit lang ha. Saan ba ako? Yan. Ay, nakikita ko na. Okay. Yan. Ito si Jon Stewart. Tama? Kilala niyo, di ba? Okay, si Jon Stewart invented fake news as part of his comedy show. And he won a lot of awards for it. He actually made a segment in his show called Fake News. And from him, that term came about only a few years back in the 90s, early 2000, something like that. So this guy invented fake news as part of comedy. He made a parody out of news. Sabi nga niya, we reduce the news into its comedic uh, cellular component. So he made the news funny and he made it part of his show. Kaya
For
fake news is
entertainment.
actually for entertainment. And then when it
Not
came here,
for reporting the news.
no, not for but now they made it like as if fake news is something we should be afraid of. Wow, fake news, fake news. But
No
fake
matter
news,
your purpose, no matter what your purpose is, if it's fake news, you are the enemy of democracy and freedom of the press.
yeah, he's award-winning. He has been given award Emmy ata tatlo. Emmy ba yung sa TV? Emmy yun Emmy Awards yung sa TV?
I don't know.
Yeah,
don't
but
watch
look
this.
it up. Look him up. His name is Jon Stewart. Nag-retire na to eh. Hindi na to nagano. But he's still into comedy. So yun, he invented it. So it's not actually something that is really so distasteful. It started with a funny thing. So good night, my friends. Are you still up? And it's time 12:30 or 2 hours. Tama ba tayo? 2 hours usual. Good night, good night. Masaya. Sana kayo.
Ano
At,
pa papagtugin mo, sir?
wala ba tayong ano dyan?
Nandiyan na yung tugtugin natin.
Kaya nga, bikining itim, di ba pala yan?
Wala pa akong bagong na-download na tugtugin ni brother magsasakang
So,
mainit.
Ano na lang muna tayo? Mag-music na lang muna tayo ng... Roasted by